Jaws, 1975, wasn't just a movie. It was a game changer. Steven Spielberg's shark thriller set the blueprint for summer blockbusters, scaring audiences out of the water and into theaters in record numbers. Nearly 50 years later, the film still holds a special place in pop culture. But what about its cast? Some vanished from Hollywood, others faced tragic fates, while a few went on to even greater success. In this video, we'll take a look at where they are now and how much they've changed over the years. Let's get started. Roy Scheider as Martin Brody. Roy Scheider was born on November 10, 1932, in Orange, New Jersey. At 42, he took on the role of Martin Brody in Jaws, 1975, the steadfast police chief of Amity who faced the terror of a man-eating shark while struggling to protect his community during the bustling summer season. This performance became a defining moment in his career, bringing to life a character both tough and vulnerable, leaving a lasting impression on audiences. Before Jaws, Roy had already earned an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor as the relentless cop Buddy Russo in The French Connection, 1971. He later cemented his legacy with All That Jazz, 1979, delivering a powerful portrayal of passionate dancer Joe Gideon, which earned him a Best Actor Oscar nomination. However, his career journey differed from his personal life, which was marked by ups and downs. He first married Cynthia Bebout in 1962, and they had a daughter, but after 24 years, their marriage ended in 1986. In 1989, he found love again with Brenda Seymour, and together they had another child. Later in life, Roy battled multiple myeloma, a silent but devastating form of cancer that gradually weakened him. He passed away at the age of 75 on February 10, 2008, in Little Rock, Arkansas. Lorraine Gary as Ellen Brody. Lorraine Gary was born on August 16, 1937, in New York City, New York. At 38, she stepped into the role of Ellen Brody in Jaws, 1975, portraying the wife of Martin Brody with a subtle emotional depth that balanced the film's intense horror sequences. Her portrayal extended beyond the first film as she reprised her role in Jaws 2, 1978, and Jaws: The Revenge, 1987, making her one of the most enduring faces of this classic franchise. Outside of Jaws, Lorraine appeared in Steven Spielberg's 1979 as Joan Douglas, a concerned wife in a wartime comedy, and in Car Wash, 1976, showcasing her versatility in a lighthearted comedic role. Looking at her personal life, Lorraine Gary's story is one of stability and success. She married Sid Sheinberg, a powerful Universal Pictures executive, in 1957, and they had 2 sons. After stepping away from the screen, Lorraine, now 88, has chosen a private life surrounded by her family. Richard Dreyfuss as Matt Hooper. Richard Dreyfuss was born on October 29, 1947, in Brooklyn, New York. At just 27, he brought an electrifying energy to Matt Hooper in Jaws, 1975, playing the young, sharp-witted oceanographer whose scientific curiosity played a crucial role in hunting down the massive shark. This role catapulted him to stardom, leading to his Oscar-winning performance as Elliot Garfield, a charmingly neurotic musician, in The Goodbye Girl, 1977. His career continued to shine, earning another Oscar nomination for Mr. Holland's Opus, 1995, where he portrayed the inspiring music teacher Glenn Holland. Beyond his career, Richard Dreyfuss has experienced significant personal challenges. He has been married 3 times, first to Jeremy Rain from 1983 to 1995, with whom he had 3 children, then to Janelle Lacey from 1999 to 2005, and finally to Svetlana Irokin since 2006. His turbulent personal life was accompanied by struggles with mental health, including bipolar disorder, which he has openly discussed, as well as a battle with cocaine addiction in the 1980s. As of 2025, he is 78 and remains a living legend in American cinema. Robert Shaw as Quint. Robert Shaw was born on August 9, 1927, in West Houghton, Lancashire, England. At 47, he embodied the rugged shark hunter Quint in Jaws, 1975, delivering the haunting Indianapolis monologue, one of the most memorable moments in film history. His talent extended far beyond Jaws, with standout performances as the ruthless assassin Red Grant in From Russia with Love, 1963, and the cunning crime boss Doyle Lonigan in The Sting, 1973. He also received an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor as Henry VIII in A Man for All Seasons, 1966, proving his remarkable range and depth as an actor. But Robert Shaw's personal life was a complex and tragic tale. He was married 3 times. First to Jennifer Bourke from 1952 to 1963, with whom he had 4 children, then to Mary Ure from 1963 to 1975, a marriage that also produced 4 children, but ended in heartbreak when she died of an overdose. And finally, to Virginia Jansen from 1976, with whom he had 2 more children. Struggling with severe alcoholism for years, his health deteriorated, and just 3 years after Jaws, he died of a heart attack at 51 on August 28, 1978, in Tormakiety, Ireland. Jeffrey Kramer as Hendrix. Jeffrey Kramer was born on August 15, 1945, in New York City, New York. At 30, he took on the role of Hendrix in Jaws, 1975, the loyal deputy who assists Martin Brody in the battle against the shark, bringing a touch of lightness to the film's tense moments. He reprised his role in Jaws 2, 1978, solidifying his presence in the franchise. Beyond acting, Jeffrey made his mark as a producer, winning an Emmy for the series Ally McBeal, 1997 to 2002, where he contributed to one of the most iconic TV shows of the 90s. Now 80, he enjoys a peaceful life after years of hard work. Murray Hamilton as Larry Vaughn. Murray Hamilton was born on March 24, 1923, in Washington, North Carolina. At 52, he portrayed Larry Vaughn in Jaws, 1975, the stubborn mayor of Amity who prioritized the town's economy over public safety, creating a character both frustrating and memorable, balancing horror and humor. His talent extended far beyond this role. He left a lasting impression as Mr. Robinson in The Graduate, 1967, the betrayed husband in the famous love story starring Dustin Hoffman and Anne Bancroft. Murray Hamilton's personal life was far more stable than the typical Hollywood drama. He married Terry DeMarco in 1951, and they had a son, maintaining a strong marriage throughout his life. However, his health was not as fortunate. He battled lung cancer, a relentless disease that gradually weakened him. Murray passed away at 63 on September 1, 1986, in Washington, North Carolina. Susan Back-Linney as Chrissy Watkins. Susan Back-Linney was born on September 1, 1946, in Miami, Florida. At 29, she became Chrissy Watkins in Jaws, 1975, the shark's first victim in the film's haunting opening scene, a moment that not only startled audiences but also became an iconic representation of underwater terror. As a professional swimming stunt performer, Susan used her expertise to make the scene so realistic that Spielberg once said she was the perfect choice for the role. She later appeared in The Great Muppet Caper, 1981, showcasing her swimming skills in a comedic scene. Despite her modest career in Hollywood, Susan Back-Linney has led a quiet and stable life. She married Harvey Kars in 1975, and their relationship has endured for decades, far from the industry's spotlight. Now 79, she enjoys a peaceful life beyond the glitz of Hollywood. Lee Fierro as Mrs. Kintner. Lee Fierro was born on February 13, 1929, in the United States. Her exact birthplace remains unclear. At 46, she played Mrs. Kintner in Jaws, 1975, the grieving mother who lost her son to the shark, delivering an unforgettable moment when she confronts and slaps Roy Scheider in one of the film's most emotional scenes. While this role was her most recognized on the big screen, Lee devoted much of her career to theater, spending years working with the Island Theater Workshop in Martha's Vineyard. In her personal life, Lee Fierro was married and had 5 children, balancing motherhood with her passion for acting. In her later years, her health declined due to old age, and she passed away at 91 on April 5, 2020, in Aurora, Ohio during the COVID-19 pandemic. Carl Gottlieb as Meadows. Carl Gottlieb was born on March 18, 1938 in New York City, New York. At 37, he played Meadows in Jaws, 1975, the local journalist of Amity with a small but memorable role, appearing in press scenes that supported the shark horror narrative. What made Carl unique was that he wasn't just acting, he was also the film's co-writer, working closely with Spielberg to shape the script into a masterpiece. Beyond Jaws, he wrote the screenplay for The Jerk, 1979, a successful comedy starring Steve Martin, and Dr. Detroit, 1983, collaborating with Dan Aykroyd. Now 87, Carl lives a quiet life. Chris Rebello as Michael Brody. Chris Rebello was born on August 8, 1963, in Oak Bluffs, Massachusetts. At just 12 years old, he took on the role of Michael Brody in Jaws, 1975, the eldest son of Martin Brody, bringing a sense of innocence and warmth. Looking back at Chris Rebello's life, his journey took an unexpected and brief turn. After his first role, he chose a normal life, stepping away from Hollywood's spotlight. Sadly, in 2000, Chris suffered a fatal heart attack at the age of 37 on November 30th in Oak Bluffs, Massachusetts, the very place where he was born and raised. Jay Mello as Sean Brody. Jay Mello was born on June 16, 1968 in Oak Bluffs, Massachusetts. At the age of 7, he portrayed Sean Brody in Jaws, 1975, the youngest son of Martin Brody, bringing innocence and charm that softened the film's tension. Like Chris Rebello, Jay was cast from the local Martha's Vineyard community, and his role naturally fit within the Brody family's story. However, much like Chris, this was his only notable acting role, as he did not continue in the industry. Now 57, Jay has chosen a quiet life, staying far from the glitz of the entertainment world after his brief time in the spotlight. Fritzi Jane Courtney as Mrs. Taft. Fritzi Jane Courtney was born on February 15, 1923, in Harlem, New York. At 52, she took on the role of Mrs. Taft in Jaws, 1975, the sharp-witted hotel owner of Amity, delivering the iconic question, "Are you going to close the beaches?" during the town hall meeting, reflecting the townspeople's anxiety over the looming shark threat. Her role wasn't limited to the first film. She returned in Jaws 2, 1978, and Jaws, The Revenge, 1987, making her one of the rare actors to appear in 3 installments of the franchise. Outside of Jaws, she worked for NBC Channel 6, becoming the first female television theater critic in New England. She also had minor roles in Rosemary's Baby, 1968, directed by Roman Polanski, and the beloved musical Annie, 1982. Looking at her personal life, Fritzi Jane Courtney had an inspiring journey. She married Robert Cohen, whom she met at a USO event during World War II, and they relocated to Maine in 1946, raising a daughter, Jill S. Cohen. In her later years, her health declined due to aging, and she passed away at 89 on August 7, 2012, in Portland, Maine. Robert Nevin as medical examiner. Robert Nevin was born on November 15, 1914, estimated based on transcript information. At 61, he portrayed the medical examiner in Jaws, 1975, the coroner who appeared in a brief but crucial scene, helping to establish the cause of death of the first victim and driving the film's shark horror narrative forward. Though his role had limited screen time, his presence added a layer of realism to the film. Sadly, he passed away at the age of 82 on March 6, 1997. Henry Carrero as Felix. Henry Carrero was born on August 15, 1920 in Massachusetts, USA, estimated based on public records. At 54, he played Felix in Jaws, 1975, a local fisherman who appeared in the chaotic harbor scene as the townspeople set out to hunt the shark, reflecting Amity's desperation and determination in the face of the looming threat. While his role was small, it contributed to the film's broader portrayal of the community's response to the crisis. Sadly, he passed away at 67 on November 23, 1987, in New Bedford, Massachusetts. Belle MacDonald as Mrs. Posner. Belle MacDonald was born on May 12, 1910, in the United States of America, estimated based on limited records. At 65, she portrayed Mrs. Posner in Jaws, 1975, a resident of Amity seen briefly in crowd scenes, adding to the town's communal atmosphere as it grappled with the shark menace. Though her role was uncredited and had little screen time, her presence contributed to Spielberg's effort to create an authentic island town setting. Sadly, she passed away at the age of 81 on October 15, 1991. Dick Young as Pratt. Dick Young was born on December 25, 1918 in the USA, estimated based on public records. At 56, he took on the role of Pratt in Jaws, 1975, a minor character featured in the harbor shark hunting scene. Sadly, he passed away at the age of 75 on January 8, 1994, in Massachusetts. Nearly 5 decades later, Jaws remains a timeless classic, but the lives of its cast have taken many different paths. Some stayed in the spotlight, while others left Hollywood behind. No matter where they ended up, their roles in this legendary film will never be forgotten. Which cast member's journey surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Thank you and goodbye.